Hi, welcome. Welcome to Transmission from Hiding to Being Me. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't watched the introduction to this, please go and watch it. Although this video stands on its own as well. Yesterday, I mentioned that the acronym came to me SURE, which stands for stripping the body, uncovering the emotions, revealing the mind, and emerging the I. SURE, sure. And this is the first letter S, stripping the body. And here I will be sharing with you my journey from hiding behind the mask of makeup and also hiding in my body and masking my insecurities through fake confidence. I will go back to that in a moment. Firstly, I would love to know that you are here. If you are watching live or the recording, please highlight your presence, anchor yourself in this moment, and put in a chat that you are here. I am here, a statement. Or if you feel called to write something else, do that. But let me know. Allow yourself to emerge from hiding as well through this process. Just through listening to me, you can start being seen, start your journey to emerging. Okay, and let's take our grounding breaths. If you have not watched the beginning yesterday, I'm going to guide you through 3 breaths. We are inhaling and exhaling through the nose. When we inhale, we gather our essence. The intention is to gather ourselves and send the energy up into the top of the head. Hold it here for a few moments. And then on the exhale, guide the energy down through the body into the pelvis and then into the legs and feet, saying internally, I am here. The intention of this breath is to really, firstly, pull back our presence, receive our presence, allow ourselves to experience this moment through being here, and anchor in the body, anchor our awareness, our energy into here and now. So take a comfortable seat. Maybe you roll your arms up, back and down. That's what I like to do. And gently close your eyes. Notice what you feel as you close your eyes. Acknowledge any sensations, tension, discomfort, or maybe softness, relaxation, any emotions that are present. Exhale all the air out. Inhale through the nose with me. Hold. And as you exhale, send the energy down, saying, I am here. Breathe normally for a moment, noticing whatever is occurring in your body. Another inhale. Hold. And exhale, sending the energy down into your pelvis, into your feet, saying, I am here. Again, breathe and observe what's happening. Present with sensations, emotions, everything that arises. And one more inhale. Hold. And I am here on the exhale. Feel yourself present, anchored in this body, in this space, in this universe, in this moment. Scan your body and notice any subtleties. And because we're speaking about the body today, I want to continue this exploration with your eyes closed for a moment. Noticing your body, noticing your hands, your feet, your hips, your belly, your chest, your head. And ask yourself, who is noticing? Who is aware of the body that is not the body? Who is it that is aware of this body? These fingers, toes, knees, elbows, neck, nose. But it's not that. If your mind is trying to figure it out, send the energy down. This is not an answer for the mind. This is an exploration of experience. Notice the one that is aware of the body but is not the body. Which is you. Perhaps the you that you may have been hiding. And notice if you identify with your body. If you judge yourself based on your body. Or maybe you feel proud of your body and identify with that part of you, the beauty, the physics. We can go into one extreme or the other. We can hate ourselves and how we look. We can love it, but not from a place of the heart, but kind of like ego, pride. That can also signalize insecurities within, that we don't feel good enough inside, and we feel like we want to make it up with the way we do our hair or maybe our muscles, whatever physical appearance we have, and we try to make it better. Notice if this is you, or maybe you are somewhere in the middle of the spectrum. Certain things you love, others you hate. Just notice without judging. This is not a place for judgment. It's just a place of exploration, where you are. And know that you can only go somewhere knowing where you start, where you are on this journey. And maybe you fully connected to your essence, to who you are, to the being that is aware of the body but is not the body. Notice if that's you. And notice if you, from this place, if you care about your body, or do you not care? Perhaps thinking that body is not important, so connected to the spiritual realm that you forget about the body. Know where you are, know where you start this journey. Take a deeper breath. Let it out. And with this awareness in the body, of the body, remembering that you are not the body, open your eyes. How does it feel? What I wanted to actually add, that yes, we are the awareness, aware of the body that is not the body, but we are also the body in another level, I want to say, in another, simultaneously. We are not just the body, but we are also the body as the human being. So I believe that we should care and respect our bodies and do what makes us feel good without trying to do it for others, like impress others, put makeup for others, or do the hair for others so others like, and abandoning our own needs and desires. The same with physics, with muscles, with health, with what we eat. And I'm going to share you how I struggled most of my life with accepting myself. And in a way, I identified with my body very much. My body and my face, but mostly my face, because I I was disconnected from my body so much that most of my energy was in my head. It was mental energy, a lot of thinking, a lot of processing. And I was disassociated with everything from the neck down. Although, yeah, my relationship with my body wasn't all butterflies. But let me just start with the face. Since I was probably around 14, I would say. I can't remember now, but when I contemplated on it a few years back, it was around 14. I started putting makeup on my face. I used to have this teenage spots, and I wanted to cover it up. And also because some of my friends or other girls at school were putting makeup, I didn't want to be left out, and I didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I looked. Up until then, probably I kind of liked myself, or I don't remember so much putting pressure on the way I look, especially on my face. But then as I started growing, maybe around 10, 11, 12, or even older, this started to change, and I started having a lot of mental energy and pressure on my face. I didn't like my skin. I didn't like anything about me at all. The only thing that used to make me feel good, because I tried to find something that I like, was my eyes, but not even, I didn't like the shape of my eyes. I didn't like the eyelids, the eyebrows, the maybe eyelashes a little bit, not even the color of my eyes, because I wanted it to be different. But somehow there was some depth in my eyes when I looked at them in the mirror. And that was the only thing that I could accept physically, visually, without judging. Perhaps the black on the eye. I don't know what it's called. And the rest of my face was not acceptable, and makeup covered some of it, but did not change much. I didn't like my lips, and my lips could not be changed. I didn't like my cheeks. I didn't like my nose. Nose was something that I had nightmares about, and even suicidal thoughts and thoughts of me as soon as I start working, saving for nose surgery. What my little self went through. I just want to take a moment to honor her. I didn't like my forehead. I didn't like my hair. Literally, there was nothing that I could look in the mirror and say, wow, you are beautiful, or I like it, or I accept it. It was like, I wish I was not myself. And imagine how much self-hatred I was producing every day towards the image in the mirror. And it even now makes me feel emotional, because maybe you can relate. Maybe you know someone who has been like that, and you may not even know it. The amount of self-hatred we can generate internally, especially as kids, teenagers, but even in adult life, is tremendous. And then we continue with this heavy luggage, heavy amount of energy throughout our lives, and we wonder why nothing good happens in our life, or life doesn't support us, or people don't like us, or like we have bad luck, or whatever it is. It feels like that self-hatred, it somehow felt by other people energetically. But anyway, this is not about that. What I wanted to share is that as I started putting makeup, I started covering up my insecurities and started liking myself more. And I remember even going on holidays to the beach. Obviously, in water, I did not have makeup when I was swimming, but as soon as I came out of water, I felt so self-conscious that I had to have a mirror and I had to put maybe a little bit of lip gloss or a little bit of blush or something. Or if I know I'm not gonna go into the water, I would go to the bathroom, public bathroom, and maybe put some mascara on. It was so, all my thoughts were concentrated on the fact that I hate myself and I don't look good. And if someone sees me, they will not accept me as I am. Therefore, I quickly have to fix myself just in case some human being will notice me. And I remember even moments going to the shop, you know, in the evening or in the morning, and even going to the shop to get milk or bread. I used to put makeup because, well, we used to laugh with friends. What if the love of my life is in the shop, right? I need to look good. But truly, it was because I didn't like myself. And I always wanted to live in hot country. And I used to look in the mirror every day, saying to myself, I wish I could live in a hot country, but not in this lifetime, because I would not be able to live without makeup. And I used to be so jealous and envy of people who have beautiful skin and beautiful face. And literally, I thought that I could do this in another lifetime, but not in this lifetime, because me and makeup are staying forever. It's like we are married, we are prisoned. And I did end up living in hot country. I moved to Dubai, but it was very civilized country. When I wanted to live in hot country, I meant more connected to nature. And in Dubai, I used to put makeup every day. Obviously, not at the beach. I used to remove that. But I also had a job where I could not wear makeup because it was with food at some point, and that made me uncomfortable. And I remember after work going to the shop or to the gym, I would often put makeup. And it wasn't until a few years ago, even when I started my spiritual journey, I was internally very connected, but externally still so insecure. I went to a retreat, and I remember at that time I used to do a lot of mirror work. Beautiful process that helped me connect with myself. And I started loving and accepting myself and loving with sending love to my body. And I was already connecting with my body and with my face also, in a way. But as I went to the retreat, there was a communal space, kind of like a bathroom where there were mirrors. And I remember when I was alone there, I was okay looking at myself in the mirror without makeup. And by the way, I went there not having makeup because also, firstly, I wanted to challenge myself and not have makeup. And I know that most people on such retreats don't have makeup. And I didn't want to be one of very few who had makeup, and then I would be judged for having it for not liking myself the way I am. So I preferred to remove my makeup and blend in with other people who had no makeup and be invisible than have makeup and stand out and perhaps be judged. And as I was looking in myself in the mirror, some people started coming in, and I noticed it made me so uncomfortable when other people were around me, seeing that I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I could look at myself in the mirror fine, no emotions were arising, because I've been doing like that at home and I've worked through that. But when I was witnessed looking at myself, another level unlocked for me, and it built up a lot of emotions. And we had sharing circles there. And I remember volunteering to share, and I shared what was on my heart, and literally tears started to stream down my face. And I realized that I've been working on loving my body, and I didn't realize that my face is my body, and I do not like myself without a mirror, without the makeup. When I look at myself in the mirror, I do not like people looking at me. And all these stories started coming up, so many emotions, and obviously all the women there were resonating, because some of them were already past that point. There was one woman who had her journey with removing makeup as well. Others were wearing makeup. Some of them they did not have this issue, but they had issue maybe about clothing or hair, very similar. And I felt so held and so much understanding and compassion. I was like, wow, I'm not alone in here. It's not just my problem. It's every woman's problem, or most women. And I remember even coming back from the retreat and sharing about it, people started messaging me that they've had the same issue, but for example with hair. And even guys who were messaging me that they feel similar. So I realized that this was not something that I had to suffer in silence with, but it was something that, as I spoke, allowed the opportunity for me to heal, to start healing, and for others to notice that they are not alone. And this felt so beautiful. And I remember I committed on that retreat. I said, you know what, I want to be free from this illusion that I am my face and I have to cover it up with makeup just to please other people. But really, I was trying to hide behind all those emotions. And as I started feeling that, I was like, no more. And when I came back from the retreat, I said, okay, the first thing, because I want freedom, I don't want to be dependent on something external. I want to be okay with how God created me without the mask. Especially that mask was not to highlight my beauty, but it was really to cover up my self-hatred and ugliness. I was like, first, I'm going not to put foundation on my face. I took it gently. I didn't just throw into the deep water and say boom, because I was scared that I would not be able to handle it. My nervous system was not, I didn't feel my nervous system was regulated enough to do this. And I didn't want to go back. So I removed the foundation first, and I was going around for 1 or 2 weeks as I got used to myself in the mirror, seeing myself in the mirror, and my brain accepted it as normal. Then I removed, I don't remember what was next, maybe mascara. Then I removed eyebrows, pencil color, whatever it's called. Then I removed blush. and then I remove lipstick. And although my makeup was not heavy, it was quite delicate. It always made me feel that people will like and accept me more. And as I started removing it, I thought that people will stop speaking to me. They will stop accepting me for who I was. And I remember going to work and asking my manager, like, if she can notice something about me, because she was like behaving normal throughout the weeks that I was removing makeup, and no one said anything. I mean, I spoke to a few people about it and they knew, but they said, like, they feel, they think I'm beautiful and I'm the same. And I was like, I couldn't believe them so much. But I noticed that after the retreat, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I realized that something shifted. And I remember the quote that I used to love and apply to many things: if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I changed the way I look at myself, and suddenly my skin started to feel better and nicer without foundation. And although I tried removing foundation for many times on many occasions, it never lasted, because I didn't change the way I was looking at myself. And that time I changed. I felt more connected to my core. I felt like I'm not hiding, I'm being me, and I'm love embodied, looking at myself. And coming back to the story of work and my manager, I asked her if she could notice anything. She was like, did you cut your hair or color your hair? I was like, no. And she was like guessing a few things, like, you have new earrings? I was like, no. And she's like, I don't know. And I said, I don't have any makeup. And she told me, have you ever had makeup? And she's known me for maybe like 2 years or so. And I was like, yeah, until a few weeks ago. She's like, oh, it was so gentle, I never noticed. You always look so pretty. And I realized, like, wow, I had this story in my head that people won't accept me without makeup. Therefore, I have to put it for other people. And other people did not care at all. They accepted me for who I was. It was just a story that was running my mind, my life. All those insecurities, all those self-hating thoughts. And suddenly I became free. I started going without makeup more and more. Now I stopped counting, but 2021 I went to that retreat. I think so, 2021. 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 2022. I'm not sure, but yeah, about 4 or 5 years without makeup. And I do occasionally put maybe some lip balm, lip color, or if there is a wedding, I remember I put mascara and maybe blush or some highlighter or like whatever. But now it's not so much, it's not at all about not liking myself and hating myself. It's more about highlighting my beauty, as I said. And I've been fine not having makeup as well in places like that and parties, and still feeling good and feeling like I belong, and I'm not judged for who I am. And the biggest critics and the most judging person that is in our life is always ourselves. And as I stopped judging, people started reflecting that I had self-love and self-kindness. People started radiating that towards me. And also I stopped judging other people for how they look, because in the past I used to compare myself so much with other people. So this is my story of emerging from hiding through radiating my beauty through the face that I have received from God as a gift to live this life. Perhaps take a moment to maybe cup your face and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to share briefly the story about my body and hiding behind fake confidence, even though the makeup gave me fake confidence as well. What I realized is that I did not like my body so much that whenever I was in public places, for example, sauna, where I would be naked, or some kind of conscious, swimming, wild swimming. Also, I've been to naked breathwork before. I realized that because I didn't like my body before, then I said, okay, I kind of squished the shame of my body. I was like, I like it. I'm spiritual now and I accept my body and I like it. And I pushed down the emotions of feeling shame or hatred. And I built this kind of fake shell of confidence, but it wasn't performance for others. I was even lying to myself. I did not notice that until a bit later, that I was trying to be so confident in my body, in the way I look, that I blocked all the emotions that I was feeling within. And when I realized that, I allow myself to soften and to breathe and to receive this discomfort and the shame of imperfect legs, or maybe big belly, or small breast, or whatever it was. And as I started softening and receiving the emotions and being with myself from that center, not hiding myself, but being myself, present with whatever is present in my body, I started noticing that those patterns were dissolving, and those patterns were integrating in my consciousness, and suddenly more space was present, more love was present, more compassion, self-compassion was present. And this allowed me to, again, emerge from hiding, being fully in my body, occupying my face and my body without trying to hide, shrink myself, suppress myself. And this is my wish for you also, to be able to use this I am breath, I am here breath that we've done at the beginning, to connect with your body, to connect with the way you look, your face, your every inch of your body, and allow yourself to truly trying to love yourself, just being present, and allow the love to start emerging from the inside out, from within you, and flood your body. And this is a beautiful journey. If you have had similar experience or are having, please share with me. I would love to know that my content or whatever I'm sharing here perhaps awakened something within you, maybe gave you hope to your own self-acceptance, emergence, compassion. I've had some few other stories even about my hair, about certain parts of the body, but we're not going to go into that now. I feel I've shared enough of the keys. And if you are on this journey and would like some support, I am offering one-on-one transformational journey, a container that I called Emerge. And it's for the one that is done hiding and ready to live in truth. And wherever you are facing and wherever you are hiding yourself, if you feel whether this is aspect of the body or many different aspects, because I believe that hiding is in layers, and I've experienced the physical layer as we're speaking about today, emotional layer we will be speaking about tomorrow, mental layer the day after, and then emerging the true essence of my being. So yeah, I would really invite you, if you resonate with me and what I do and how I present myself, how I don't want to say teach, how I show up, how I've emerged. And yeah, the link is below this video, so you can check it out. And I invite you to practice self-compassion with your body today and every day, perhaps. And what else I wanted to share? Oh, yesterday, if you've watched yesterday's video, I said something about acorn and willow tree. I don't know where willow tree came from. It was an oak tree. When I listened to the recording, I was like, what's this? But anyway, we are humans, right? Not perfect. And one thing I want to highlight is what we spoke about at the beginning. If you want to emerge from hiding, you need to realize who you are, who is the one that is hiding, and who is the one that is in this transmission aware of the body but is not the body. In other transmissions we go to other aspects. So I invite you to practice that, practice self-inquiry, self-compassion to your body, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Sending you lots of love. Bye bye.